She was standing in my driveway when I pulled in. Her arms were crossed, and she wore a smug smile like she had already won. The air still carried the sharp scent of smoke. My home was nothing but charred beams and ashes. I hadn't even finished speaking with the fire inspector when she raised her voice loud enough for the whole street to hear. You should not have ignored the HOA rules. This is what happens. My hands shook, not from fear, but from the certainty of what she had done. I did not respond. I just stared at the small glint of gold on her wrist. Her charm bracelet swung in the sunlight, the same one captured on my security footage, worn by the figure pouring gasoline on my porch 2 nights earlier. She stepped closer, pretending to act concerned. Insurance will not cover this. Violations void everything. Her tone dripped with fake authority. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains, unwilling to get involved. I took a slow breath. Karen, you do realize I own this land outright. There is no HOA here. Her smirk twitched, but she tried to brush it off. We will see what the judge says. I filed a complaint. You will be gone before you can rebuild. If only she knew. The judge she mentioned was my cousin, and he already had the footage. I turned away, walking toward what was left of my home. My boots crushed broken glass with each step. She thought she had ruined my life, but all she had done was expose herself to the biggest mistake of hers. The courtroom was full, not because of my case, but because news spreads fast in a small town, especially when someone claiming to be an HOA president faces accusations this serious. Karen walked in like she owned the building. Her heels clicked sharply, sunglasses still on indoors, and her strong perfume filled the room. She glanced my way and whispered to someone, "He is going to lose everything." I sat quietly, my worn leather jacket draped over my chair, hands folded as I watched the judge. Karen did not notice the 2 deputies seated near the back. They were the same ones who had reviewed my security footage for the past 2 days. When my cousin called the case, Karen jumped in immediately. "Your Honor, this man has broken multiple HOA rules. He damaged community property, and his recent fire is suspicious. I request immediate removal from his property before more harm is done." I remained silent and slid a USB drive to my lawyer. The screen lit up. The first video showed someone creeping onto my porch with a red container. Then came the clear flash of Karen's charm bracelet as the figure lit a match. Flames rose, and her face turned toward the camera, unmistakable. A murmur spread through the room. Karen's confident smile wavered, but she tried to regain control. "That is not me. That is fake. A deep fake or something." The judge leaned forward, his voice steady. "Ms. Thompson, would you like to explain why the bracelet in this footage matches the one you are wearing today?" Her face drained of color. For once, she had no quick comeback. She stuttered, her words tripping over the panic rising inside her. "I was home that night. You cannot prove anything. This is a setup." She pointed at me as if I had created everything out of thin air. The deputies stood and approached. One held a folder. "Ma'am, cell tower records show your phone near his property at 11:42 p.m., the time the fire began." Her jaw clenched, but she tried to stand firm. "So what? I was in the area. That is not a crime." The second deputy lifted a small evidence bag. Inside was a silver charm shaped like a tiny house, its edges darkened. "We found this in the ashes on his porch. It matches your bracelet." Gasps filled the room. Karen grabbed her wrist as if she could hide it. Her voice cracked slightly. "That is impossible." I leaned forward, meeting her eyes for the first time. Impossible or careless. Her stare could have burned through steel, but behind her anger, fear had finally taken hold. The judge's gavel struck once. "Ms. Thompson, you will remain here while the deputies confirm evidence with the investigation team. Do not attempt to leave." She sank into her seat, clutching her purse like it was the only thing she had left. She finally understood she was not in control anymore, but she still had no idea what was coming next. The next witness entered, and Karen's head snapped toward the door. It was Mike, my neighbor from 2 houses down, the one she had bragged to about trying to remove me. He avoided her glare as he took the stand. "Tell the court what you told us," my lawyer said. Mike cleared his throat. 2 nights before the fire, I was fixing my truck outside. I saw Karen loading what looked like gas cans into her SUV. She said she was going to solve the problem next door. I did not think she meant this. His eyes dropped. I should have spoken sooner. Karen slammed her hands on the table. "Lies. He is lying for him. They all are." The judge did not look up. "Sit down, Miss Thompson." My lawyer clicked to the next clip. A traffic camera showed Karen's SUV heading toward my street at 11:38 p.m. The right taillight was cracked. The same damage visible on her SUV outside the courthouse. A deputy stepped forward. "Miss Thompson, we have a warrant to search your vehicle." If you want to make a statement before we proceed, now is the time. Her breathing grew faster. This is harassment. I am the HOA president. You cannot do this. That is interesting, I said calmly, because there is no HOA here. You have been pretending for years, collecting fees from people who trusted you. A wave of shock spread through the room. People whispered, and several pulled out their phones. Karen shot to her feet. That is not true. I kept this community organized. Without me, it would fall apart. My lawyer placed documents on the table. County records show the association was dissolved 8 years ago. These bank statements show over $200,000 deposited into your personal account during the last 4 years. Money collected as HOA fees. Karen's face turned a deeper shade of red. You cannot just... The judge cut her off sharply. Ms. Thompson, stop speaking unless you wish to add contempt to your charges. The deputies moved closer. The room stayed silent, waiting. I leaned back and watched her unravel. She tried to think her way out, but every path was blocked. The judge struck the gavel again. We will take a brief recess. Deputies secure her vehicle and electronics. Keep her here. As they escorted her aside, she shot me a stare sharp enough to cut glass. But behind it was panic, pure and undeniable. Her entire facade was collapsing, and she knew it. When court resumed, the air felt heavier. Everyone sensed the next few minutes would end it all. The deputies returned with a black evidence bag and set it on the table. One reached inside and pulled out a half-empty red gas can streaked with soot. This was found in the trunk of Ms. Thompson's SUV, the deputy said. Forensics confirms the residue matches the accelerant used in the fire.